Hello, Algebra 1. So I've had a lot of students struggling with this problem. So I wanted to go through it with you guys. Remember, when you're dealing with a cone, that it's a little different than a pyramid. To find the lateral surface area, you've got to have what's called the slant height of the cone. And that's relative to the height of the cone and the radius of the cone. And if you think about it, if you look, when you picture that cone vertex at the top, it's going to come right over the center of the base, which is a circle. So at the center of the circle, you're going to be able to draw a radius to the side. So we're told here the radius of the base is 9 and the height of the cone is 15. Well, that is how we determined the L, the slant height. This lateral surface area of a cone, we finish writing here, is determined by pi times the radius times the slant height, or this slopey area. And if you look very closely, you're going to see a right triangle right here, and the slant height is going to be the hypotenuse of that right triangle, made by the height of the cone and the radius of the base circle. So we can find L by just using Pythagorean's theorem. So we're going to say 9 squared times 15 squared, I'm sorry, not times, plus, is going to be equal to the slant height squared. So this is going to be 81 plus, I have not a clue, so I'm going to do it on a calculator. 15 times 15 is 225. When I add that to the 81, I get 306. So when I unsquare 306, let me get the square root of that, I get 17.49. Now you could round that to 0.5. I think that's what I'll do. I'll say 17.5 is equal to L, because we unsquared the whole thing, right? We just did this. So you could also do 17.49. I've got that answer in there as well if you want to round it to 2 places. So I'm going to write that also so that we can do the problem both ways to get both answers. All right, so you could either do 17.5 or 17.49. Either way, it's an acceptable answer in Jupyter. I've typed them both in. So that is the slant height. But that is just giving us this right here. To get the lateral surface area, we have to perform this calculation. Okay? So it's going to be pi times the radius of 9 times L. So let's do 17.5 first. So we just calculate that. We multiply 9 times 17.5. That's 157.5 times pi, and this is in meters, so it's meters squared. Okay. Now we have to find the total surface area. So that means total surface area is equal to the area of the base plus the lateral surface area. We know that, right? So area of the base for this cone is only got one base. So we have the bottom here, and that area of the base is going to be a circle. So pi r squared, so 9 times 9, and those are both meters, of course. These are meters also. That's going to be 81 pi, and I just said 0.0 because that has a decimal, meters square. So when we add those together, so plus 81, we get 238.5 times pi meters square. Now, if you did not round that to one place, if you rounded it to 2 places like we do in every other problem, I've got that answer in there also. So that would just be pi times 9 meters times 17.49 meters. And that would be 9 times 17.49 157.41 pi meters square. This remains the same, so the area of the base is still equal to 81 times pi meters square. So plus 81 gives us 238.41 times pi meters square. So this answer is typed in, this answer is typed in, and I even have 239 pi meters square as an acceptable answer, just in case you rounded this to a whole number. So those three answers are acceptable in Jupyter, depending on your degree of precision in rounding. Typically, we round to 2 places. But when you have a number like 17.49, you like, it's your intuition. You just like, that's halfway, right? You just round it to 17.5. That's your gut instinct, or it is mine anyway. So I allowed for both situations in your acceptable answer list in Jupyter. So I hope that explains what you've got to do in order to find this slant height. Make that right triangle with the height of the cone and radius of the circle. Use Pythagoras' theorem to find this hypotenuse of the right triangle, which is the slant height of the cone. That is what goes here for your lateral surface area. Pi times the radius times the slant height gives you the lateral surface area of the cone. And then you add that to the base for the total surface area. That's all you're doing. All right, I hope that helps everybody. I know that there's been a lot of confusion on that. I'm not sure exactly why. But there you go. I will see you guys tomorrow.